He was a man who would not take enough. He wanted more power, more glory, more history. He turned a city of senators into an empire. He won wars, made enemies, and died under a falling curtain of knives. This is the story of Julius Caesar, soldier, writer, ruler, and the man who broke the Roman Republic. Caesar was born in old family that claimed descent from the gods. The Julians said they came from Venus herself. That story mattered. In Rome, ancestry and honor opened doors, yet his house was not rich like other nobles. People came from boldness, not from only coins. His youth was sucked into rooms, violent politics, gangs, protests, and rival families. He learned early that to survive you had to be clever, brave, and ready to seize chances. Caesar studied, he made friends, and he watched how politics worked. Like a hawk waiting for wind, when he was a young man, Caesar sailed across the Aegean and was captured by pirates. They demanded a ransom. They laughed. Caesar laughed back. He lived among them, joked with them, and promised to come back and punish them when free. He paid the ransom, gathered ships, and returned, and he made good on his promise. He crucified the pirate. The story is brutal, but it revealed Caesar's core. He could charm, he could act, and he never forgot insult. This is the man, fearless, vengeful, theatrical, a leader who could be both human and ruthless. Caesar claimed Rome's leader step by step. He held offices, quaestors, aedile, praetor, and learned the rule of the game. He threw lavish games to win favor. He married strategically. He wrote speeches, made promises, and used his charm to turn enemies into allies. He also formed powerful friendship with Crassus, the richest man in Rome, and with Pompey, a celebrated general. In time, the three men created an unspoken power pact, the first triumvirate. Together they could move Rome, yet alliances that share power also hide rivalries. Caesar's style was simple: be visible, help the people, and win loyalty. But every favor cost someone something. Caesar merged north into Gaul, a wild, vast land that is now France. For almost a decade he fought, conquered, and wrote about it. His commentaries on the Gallic War were propaganda and history in one, plain language that made him look brilliant and brave. He faced brave enemies, tribes that fought like lions. The most famous was Vercingetorix, a leader who united Gaul against Rome. A final showdown at Alesia, Caesar besieged the city and against the odds won. The victory made Caesar's reputation. He returned home with legions, loot, and the image of an unstoppable general. Both conquest brought also cruelty. Cities burned, prisoners sold. Caesar's victories fed Rome's appetite and his own ambition. The Senate ordered Caesar to give up his command. That was a trap if he obeyed his enemies. His enemies would arrest him. If he stayed, he would be an open rebel. History remembers the moment Caesar took his army and crossed the Rubicon, a tiny river with a huge meaning, and he said in Latin, "The die is cast." The civil war that followed was brutal. Caesar and his troops marched on Rome. Pompey fled on to Greece at Pharsalus. Caesar's smaller force beat Pompey's. Pompey fled to Egypt and was killed there. Caesar followed and found himself in Egypt's court and met Cleopatra. In Egypt, politics became personal. Caesar begged Cleopatra and helped her regain the throne. They had a son, Caesarion. The alliance mixed love, politics, and spectacle. Caesar even famously sent a quick message from Zila, Veni Vidi Vici, Acem Aisa I conquered, a man who loved to declare triumph. Back in Rome, Caesar was not content with military wins. He cleared debts, reorganized the calendar, creating the Julian calendar, and reformed the government. He gave land to soldiers and lowered debt. He made himself dictator, first for an emergency, then for 10 years, and finally the title held for life. People prized him, people feared him. He accepted honors, statues, temples, and a procession like a king. That last part frightened many Romans, for Rome hated king. Power tasted sweet, but when a republic grows used to one man's choices, the cost is made later in silence and knives. A band of senators decided to act. They called themselves patriots, defenders of the republic. Their leader, Brutus, was once a friend. Cassius was a jealous rival. They feared that Caesar would crown himself king and end the believed Roman freedoms. On March 15, the Ides of March, they struck in the Senate around him. They stabbed Caesar again and again. Ancient writers tell a dramatic end. Caesar saw Brutus among the attacker and cried out, "You too, Brutus?" That line may be traitor but the betrayal was real. Rome celebrated not exactly. The city splintered into mourning, anger, and revenge. Mark Antony, a friend and lieutenant of Caesar, turned the crowd at Caesar's funeral. He read and showed the people the bloody clock. The crowd outraged rose. The conspirators fled from the chaos. New men Octavian, Antony, and Lepidus formed the second triumvirate and hunted down rival. In time, Octavian would become Augustus, the first Roman emperor, and the republic as it had been was gone. Paradoxically, those who killed Caesar to save the republic helped end it. His death lit a fuse that burnt Rome's old order away.